my name is Faith Ingoglia, and welcome to my talk show where we discuss different books and movies that explore Afrofuturism. Today we will be discussing the short story, I Make People Do Bad Things. This story takes place after God has abandoned the world and left it to fend for itself. One of the main characters, Queenie, runs a very successful African-American gang. Another character, Sheba, at the ripe age of 9 years old, is able to make people do whatever she wants just by wishing for it. Queenie definitely uses these powers to her advantage to help benefit her gang. A new tenet of Afrofuturism that I would like to introduce is women in power. This tenet supports women as the protagonists and strongest characters. I plan to interview fans of I Make People Do Bad Things by Chesia Burke to further investigate how this tenet is supported throughout the text.
Excuse me, sir. Do you happen to be a fan of I Make People Do Bad Things?
Of course.
Great. Do you mind taking part in this interview?
Not at all.
How do you think the text supports the tenet of Afrofuturism that is women in power?
I think a good example would be how Ludi holds her own against Doc. He thought he could take advantage of her because she was dying, but she still beat him up and hurt his pride in doing so. I think this is a great example because it shows that women are just as strong as men.
I think that was a great example. Hi, I'm interviewing fans of I Make People Do Bad Things. Do you have a moment to talk?
Yes, I do.
Great. What's one example of how the text supports the tenet of Afrofuturism that is women in power?
I think a good example would be how Queenie is the leader of her gang, but she's also a woman. Everybody fears her, women, children, and men. It doesn't matter that she's a woman. She's a strong character, and she has strategically worked for her rank.
I agree. Thank you so much. Excuse me, sir. Are you a fan of the story I Make People Do Bad Things?
Yes, I am.
Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Of course.
How do you think this short story supports the tenet of Afrofuturism that is women in power?
Well, I think a great example of that is Shiv is only a 9-year-old girl, yet she has the power to control people. She is the most feared character in the whole story, yet she's only a little girl.
That's a great point.
I know. Another example is when she was disrespected by Hertz for being a child and a girl. She kills him. This strips away all the stereotypes she may face and replaces them with fear and strength.
Thank you so much.
I think it's clear how this text demonstrated women as both the protagonists and strongest characters throughout the entire story. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.